Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate, Uncut and After Show. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification icon and join button if you'd like to be a 1980 channel member and keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support this channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they premiere, and there's also a PayPal, Patreon, and crypto link in the info box below the video. Speaking of Patreon, I'm going to do a quick shout out to all of you who do support me on Patreon. So a massive shout out to Abraham Mohammed, Adrian Quintana, Alistair Main, Billy Highvault, Burn Fat Till My Stomach Is As Flat As The Earth, Chow Young Cat, Dank, Dave Rakia Gafford, David Wayne Foster, Erwin Jennisons, Felix Hung, Fireball X, God Rockin, Henrik86, Jeranism, Joshua Balsimo, Kirsten Smith, Liam Nedrick, Life is Short, Matt, Missouri Bear, Nagara, Naibai, Tar Craig, Renee, Sally Ballis, Skeptic936, Texas Mike, The Flat Earth Sun, Moon and Zodiac Clock App, page, Tina Baker, Tom Herkins, and Wind Rider. So a massive shout out of appreciation to all of you for supporting me on Patreon. Now, this particular Uncut and After Show is actually going out on the Nathan Oakley 1980 channel, as will be the case for the Saturday show. So I'm going to do a further shout out to all of the people who've just recently joined as a channel member on Nathan Oakley 1980. So I'll shout out a few penguins as well, but there are so many penguins that I'm going to mainly shout out people in the slightly higher category. So please don't take offence if you're a penguin, because I will do a few random shout outs of penguins as well. So just to line up, I won't give all these disclaimers in future Uncut and After shows on a Saturday. I'll just shout out the various people who have joined as members. So a massive shout out to... swing the mic over. Contraption, Wind Rider, who are both lions, Pilton Pop, who's a hyena, All People Free People, who's a lion, Jordan for America, who's a hyena, Colin Dresser, who's a unicorn, Flat World Logic, another hyena, Chow Young Cat, another hyena, Unicorn Laser Eyes, also a hyena, and then Eagle Plane and Anchor, who's a lion, rawr, Del West Watson, and Super Looming Hyena, who are both hyenas. So for the time being, what I'm going to do is I'm going to shout out a couple of the people who've joined as penguins. So I've intentionally set the very cheapest possible level that people can join at. So if I do have members only chats, the people who want to join for that only can join and be part of the members only chat, and I believe get access to any videos that I may or may not do for members only. So if I just bring up a few of those, here we go, penguins, there we go, apply. This is all a bit new. Hopefully they'll get slick as time goes by. So I'm going to shout out those of you who've got slightly more subscribers in this instance. So hopefully this will generate some subscribers for these particular Nathan Oakley 1980 channel members. So shout out to Dorian Gray, he's got 122 subscribers. I haven't checked these at this juncture to see if you are actually videographers, but I'd assume by these numbers you are. So shout out to Penguin. Your 122 subscribers will hopefully benefit in some small way, Dorian Gray. So thank you very much for joining as a penguin. Also shout out to Vlad on Flat Earth. He's got 811 subscribers, so hopefully people will go over and check out his content if he has any at all. Hopefully you do. I believe Vlad is actually a videographer, so check out his content. And last but by no means least, Earth is Seriously Flat, who I'm subscribed to myself. So thank you very much for all the support, Earth is Seriously Flat, who's got 329 subscribers, who's joined Nathan Oakley as a channel member and a penguin. So brilliant stuff. I'm going to open the mic on both Discord and G+, and
stellar observations.
A bit of a conversation going on in both of them. They're going to get a rude
modifying the degree of incidence
at the same time, but
from said observation.
Chaos. We shall see how we get on.
The Globers turn around and say, well, you were 10 feet above sea level. And we used to accept that. We used to accept that, okay, we were 10 feet above the shoreline, but it doesn't mean we were 10 feet above sea level. You know, because with that swell that's out there, that could be 5, 6, 7 feet high. You know, so in technically, you're only 3 feet above the sea level. You know, so Yeah, it's only worse for the globe when you start to include this natural effect of shoaling.
You know, I'm just thinking of the times when I was coming back from a boat trip and had following seas, and those waves looked like they were going to break in the back of my boat. No, they never did, but they were much higher than my boat.
Yeah, it goes to show. I mean, I did some things yesterday. I think it was 4 or 5 foot waves, and then because they had a longer duration, I think of about 16 seconds as opposed to 13. And let me just put that in. Actually, I don't want to say something that's wrong. So 5 feet waves and put it at 16 seconds, and then calculate that. Yeah, the maximum height of that is going to be over 20 feet. So even though it's just a 5 foot swell, so 2.5 foot of amplitude, the maximum height of that wave is going to be over 20 feet from 5. So physical obstruction is going to be half of that, because that will be the amplitude. So it will be 10 foot of physical obstruction, even though the swell report just says it's 5 feet, and that's 2.5 feet in amplitude. So it's 4 times the amount, 4 times the height of the wave. Now that's incredible when you think about that at the shoreline. 10 feet. Can you imagine? You go out and you see that the swell's only just 5 feet, but when you're looking out, you can have 10 feet of physical obstruction between your feet at the shoreline and looking out to sea. So you'd have to go up 10 feet above the water at the shoreline to get level with the water, just to get level with it.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Welcome to Flat Earth Debate Live. I'm your host Nathan Oakley, and if you are new to this channel, or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. If you'd like to support the channel, there is a super chat that runs alongside each of these shows while they are live. There's also a PayPal, Patreon and crypto link in the info box below the video. Most importantly, if you'd like to join the discussion, simply mute the page you are currently watching, then click the link in the info box below this video to join the panel and express your views on the nature of Earth. If you do join, please don't swear. If you do, you'll be ejected, and if you are, please don't try to rejoin the stream using sock accounts. You'll be warmly welcome back on the next stream. Please also share the show on social media. Sharing the show obviously increases the live audience, but this in turn increases the chances of a more diverse panel. So please share the show on Facebook and Twitter. And one last time, if you're new to the channel or you've not done so already, then be sure to subscribe and hit the bell notification icon to keep up to date with the Flat Earth Debate. Now, we are joined in G+ by Righteous Force, Ranty Flat Earth, Chocolate Saying, Brian, Arwin and 10th Man. Very good to have you all.
Hello.
Good morning. Hello.
Good afternoon.
Good morning.
Hello, one and all. We're also joined by a whole bunch of people in Discord. Hello.
Hey guys.
Morning. Howdy ho.
Very good to have you also. Now, I was interrupting a conversation that Ranty was getting to his peak on. Now, I did get all of your conversation into the pre-show, Ranty. I'm sure you're pleased to hear. However, are we good to do a bit of housekeeping? I'll ask you permission in case you're in the middle of something.
No.
Any signs of Earth curvature?
Not from Playa del Rey Beach.
Nope.
Any signs of axial rotation of the Earth-based variety?
No, the Earth is definitely stationary.
Any scientific evidence of gravity?
Accelerometer.
That's
No,
not
they're
scientific.
still trying to figure out what it really is. So.
Accelerometer's not scientific evidence.
I'm only joking.
How can there be scientific evidence of something that is not a force, but you can think of it as a force?
That's the part they're trying to figure out.
Because when you thought about it scientifically, and therefore it proves it. There you go.
You can't think of things scientifically. It's a method that you apply to validate empirically a cause of an effect.
Oh no, you're hurting their dreams.
Oh, that's a shame.
Well, Well, according to George Musser, even Newton himself didn't think it was a force.
Heresy. Any single viable hypothesis from any of the fields of astronomy, cosmology, or which one did I say? Cosmology, astronomy, or astrophysics. There we go.
Not scientific.
No, those
seat of the pants.
pseudosciences.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, seat of the pants.
What about the
Seat
distance to
of
the
the
sun?
pants. Seat of the pants. Back pocket calculations.
Leaps of logic.
Leaps of logic.
Guesswork. Any evidence of the distance to the sun? Speaking of guesswork.
Yeah.
No.
No. Only pseudoscience.
Yeah, we can't even confirm that it is actually a physical object in the first place. Sun just seems to be an optical phenomena.
Okay, given that we have a law of nature with entropy at its centre and an assertion that the sky is a vacuum, an area for the energy or the particles of matter to disperse into, for entropy to increase, given that that is a law of nature and there's an assertion that the sky is a vacuum, is there any evidence that you can have the gas pressure we all breathe without the necessary antecedent of a container?
No.
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 Well, I believe it's possible once we can find a definition of gas pressure that doesn't contain the word container.
Yeah, you'll struggle. Okay. Any evidence of the R value, Earth radius?
Well, it exists in math.
It's a huge presupposition.
You might be able to establish a two-dimensional one, but three-dimensional seems impossible.
What would the two-dimensional one be derived from?
Well,
The North Pole.
Their own.
Polaris.
Polaris and
Going out 1,000 miles in each direction.
yeah, that you need
could
something else.
establish a radius.
Radius of a circle, right? So what else? Not just Polaris.
You'd have to kind of use the geographic North Pole to the equator. That's the best you do.
Well, no,
That we
he's
know
using
about.
no, that's fine. He's using the celestial pole. That's fine.
Right.
But he can't derive a radius just simply from looking at Polaris.
Well,
No,
we just talked
you'd have to
about.
start from the zenith of the North Star and travel outward south in all directions. It'd still be a made-up radius, made-up diameter or circumference. Pardon me.
May I remind
Well,
everyone
yesterday-
that. Go ahead.
Sorry,
Yes.
yesterday Zanuck was suggesting that we could work out the radius of the Earth by knowing the altitude and the drop in the horizon in degrees, and that if you know those two values, that you can then derive a radius value.
Yeah, he has to impose a physicality to that not actual location, though, doesn't he? You see, that's them and their bloody sphere edge again, isn't it? So they're measuring the leading edge of the sphere? No, the horizons are not actual location. It's just reified into this physical location, sphere edge, for them to start measuring stuff from. Well, no, it's not. It's not actually an actual location. You just make it that way because you've got a religion that dictates that. So no, it's not a physical place. It's not an edge you can measure. But these guys, these fundy globeheads and their bloody edges. Oh, it's all about the edges.
And he keeps
They're
showing
so edgy,
these
Nathan.
heads
They're
up
so edgy.
play.
All right, I sense an
Hold
opening.
on. Ramscorp got rumpus by a gag. So Alwyn saying I'm edgy. Funny.
Yeah, the ballers are so edgy, man. They're so edgy.
Go ahead, Rams, and then 10th man afterwards. Go ahead.
Well, Zanuck keeps showing these pictures of heads-up displays with the horizon line and the sun or the moon below the horizon line in the heads-up display, but above the horizon. And to him, that's solid evidence.
Okay, let's put out a formal question and challenge to Zanuck from 10th Man. The sphere has a radius of 3959 miles, 3,959 miles. Zanuck, you have to say that's wrong before you go anywhere with any other examples. So either you're going to come on this show and agree that the sphere has a radius of 3,959 miles, or you're going to say it's wrong, and then we'll give you some wiggle room to give us your theory. But since the sphere has been documented by your side to have a radius of 3,959 miles, then the horizon distance measurements must be no more than 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height. So if you're at 1 foot, Zanuck, the distance to the horizon, cannot be more than 1.22 miles. And yet we have pictures and very good tests to show 9 miles, 10 miles, 18 miles. You're wrong.
Get him, Temp.
They can't have that radius unless they can prove drop and curve. There is no way to have that radius. There's no way for the equator to be the size, to be 24,900 miles. It has to be a lot bigger. Just using the latitude and longitude grid, it would have to be 38,000.
No, don't go any further. Don't go into latitude and longitudes. Don't go into friggin' what their favorite color has to be. It ends with what he said. Period. He has to answer it. And he ain't answering anything because he owes me 2 G's. He ain't coming in here.
Good morning.
Unless Nathan wants him in here.
Good morning, QE.
Good morning.
4 more hours.
What's that?
Even flight distances, though.
Don't worry about flight distances. Stick with the proof.
I was just having conversation about it. That's all.
You got a Super Bowl winner right in front of you, but you can't help yourself, right?
Are you talking about
Just
the
can't help
1.22
yourself.
miles?
You got to go into, their favorite colors, and if their radius is 25,670 gazillion tetrons, stop. Just use that simple argument, pass that simple argument to everyone you know. It's over right there. Everything else is barely palpable background noise.
I don't understand the argument. Can you repeat
I
it?
already used it. Sorry, Nathan.
Can you repeat it? I don't understand it, QE.
Are you talking about the 1.22 miles and one for observation?
I'm a bit thick. I don't understand it. Can you repeat it, please?
I said, nah, I just woke up, man. I'd have 10th repeat it.
I've already heard it. It was really concise. In fact, it was excellent. But I want it repeated by someone else.
Why you want it repeated by somebody else?
Because if you hear an argument and then you're on the fence, even if it makes perfect logical sense, now I'm pretty much exclusively talking to zealots here. If someone else comes and reiterates it, it can have the effect of snapping somebody out of that, well, I'm still going to side with the person that's still arguing, because they're still arguing, even though it seems like they've lost. Someone else comes in and reiterates the exact same argument in just slightly different words and a different tone of voice. And like I say, it can have that effect on somebody that might just be going, well, there's still somebody arguing against it though, isn't there? Zanuck's still arguing, so can't be wrong. No, if the point's reiterated, I see what you're going now. Yeah, 10th, I'm not in any way diminishing what you've just done in terms of your presentation. I couldn't concisely give that argument the way you have. You've paid a lot closer attention than I have. So in some ways, I'm half joking when I'm saying I'm dumb. I couldn't rephrase that argument. That would be more accurate. You know, I couldn't. That's the truth. But I get it.
All right. If the Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3959 miles, then horizon distance measurements must be no more than 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. If you're unsure about that, just see all the Earth curve calculators and look at distance to the horizon. Okay? The observer's height right here in this example is 1 foot. Distance to the horizon is greater than 9.41 miles. Distance to the horizon, remember, the maximum for a sphere at that observer height is only 1.22 miles. So, modus tollens, if P then Q, not Q, therefore not P. So, if the Earth is a sphere with a radius of 3959 miles, P, then horizon distance measurements must be no more than 1.225 times the square root of the observer's height in feet. That's Q. Not Q. The horizon distance is greater than 9.41 miles, therefore not P. P. Earth is not a sphere.
Well, let's not forget what
No.
gives their
Earth is a
horizon
sphere.
distance.
Sorry, just minor correction. Bolted it up at the end. Not P. Earth is a sphere. So Earth is a sphere and it's not P.
I'm sorry, that confused people. Therefore not P. So the Earth is a sphere. It's not P. The Earth is not a sphere.
Correct. Sorry, just had to correct that.
That's okay.
So let's not forget what gives them their edge. What gives them their edge, their horizon edge? Well, gives them their horizon edge is gravity. So if you can see further than their distances for this, supposed horizon, then gravity isn't pulling the water as their model would have you think it is, and in which case, that means that gravity isn't working. And you can't have gravity not working because we'd all just get disappeared into space. Right?
What?
Let me just break that down. Gravity. Let me break it down because Arwin and Chocolate had this out earlier and I just can't be asked. It's taking 10 minutes. What Ranty's saying is, if you take the colloquial misunderstanding and misapprehension about what gravity is and what it does, it pulls the oceans into a nice, neat sphere. And therefore, you've got this curving edge of sphere in their belief. Now, Ranty observes flat water day in, day out, and he's saying that gravity is supposed to be making that water curved in your colloquial misunderstanding about what gravity does. That's paraphrasing, but ultimately what he is saying.
Exactly. And if you have flat water, you do not have gravity acting on that liquid. You can't have flat water in the globe model. It is impossible. And what QE was basically showing there is that if you have a horizon distance of 1.2 miles away and you can see beyond that with a greater horizon at a further distance, then gravity is not having an effect on that water. So therefore, it is not curving it into a ball.
It's a problem.
No, I'm not saying that. No, that's not mine. That's your addition to it. No, I'm not saying that. I'm saying then the Earth is not a sphere has all to do with gravity.
We've got these different levels of intellectual arguments going on here where there isn't a necessity to have one. Both points are valid. However, maybe it needs a colour coding system, I don't know. But, colour code green. In this instance, the fundy doesn't understand what gravity is, but automatically assumes that it's pulling water into a sphere shape, right? That's where Ranty's debunking it with the very nature of a photograph. And the assertion that comes after is, well, no, your misapprehension is it's bending water. It isn't. It's flat as a pancake. That's the end conclusion, but at that level of argument. In your modus tollens example, you're taking a very accurate measurement of what they claim is the leading edge of a sphere and is in actuality a not actual location. Now, based on their presupposition that it's a physical edge, you couldn't have it be beyond a certain distance, 9 point whatever it is miles in this example, based on their mathematics and their physicality to their edge. Now, that's a whole nother level above, no offence to Ranty, in terms of somebody's first understanding that we're talking about a physicality being attributed to a not actual location. That's pretty advanced in terms of the argument structure. But it's a stone cold death of the globe and their assertion that it's got a fucking edge. Sorry, I'm going to have to stop. My passion level's high when it comes to these sorts of arguments, right? I've been talking about this edge for ages, and this is the icing on the cake, man. This is epic. Because it's the stone cold debunking of their physicality assumption bias when it comes to a not actual location, the horizon. It's not an edge of a sphere. I've been saying it for months, but this is like the mathematics to show him why it's not a sphere. It's not physical. Why? Well, because we can see beyond where we should see beyond a physical obstruction that cannot be looming. Looming doesn't do that. That isn't what looming is.
Yeah, it's like a 2-hit combo. Ranty's using it as like a 2-for-1 debunk special. John saying, I've just debunked your horizon. And Ranty's saying, well, because that horizon's been debunked, right? Your horizon distance, it's been, because that's been debunked, then the force that's supposed to actually cause that horizon distance is also debunked.
Well, everything is debunked if it's not a sphere.
Double whammy.
You can't
Exactly,
debunk
yeah.
gravity because you can't. It never existed in the first place. So.
Well, I tried desperately yesterday. I just couldn't find it because of the mountainous amount of content he's got. But Jeranism addressed this. It was at least a year ago. And I just wanted to find out where he did it, because he's describing the horizon being up above and loomed up. I can almost remember the words he said. I haven't got it freshly watched enough to paraphrase how he's describing what is now being mathematically broken down based on Ben's observations and modus tollens being applied by QE. But like I say, I had to hunt for it and I just couldn't find the damn thing. If anybody knows where Jeranism's describing the horizon being physically loomed up, exactly as we're describing, his terminology's wrong, but he doesn't know that a year ago. You know, we hadn't even scratched the surface here. But now we're at a conclusion to it, and it'd just be nice to hear how he phrased it back then, because he clearly got it. So shout out to Jeranism.
Shout out, Jaren.
Shout out to Boo Conspiracy too, who has hammered this point for the past year.
Right on. And I didn't get it. You know, me, I was in the total as well. You debunked this by pointing out it's a not actual location. And Ben's pointing out that, no, you've still got to pay attention to what they're claiming it is. A physical obstruction, a leading edge of a sphere. Now, while I might say that to the fundies, you've got to be in that mindset. It's something that over time, while I've said, no, you're not allowed to beg the question. It's like, well, no, Anthony's argued it, and so have I now with axial rotation and Coriolis effect. You've got to get right in there, man. You've got to get stuck in. And that's what Ben's done with the horizon. And you think, good on you.
For people who are listening, modus tollens and modus ponens. Can QE give us a quick definition? Or is he still eating breakfast?
Modus tollens is the example he's given, isn't it? So if P, then Q, not P, therefore not Q, or not Q, therefore not P, sorry. I'll say that again. If P, then Q, not Q, therefore not P.
You got to get your P's and Q's in order.
I did the second time. I got it right. My correction was correct.
Yeah, you did. You got it right the second time.
As it P's and Q's, it should be Q's and E's.
Should have an R in there somewhere. I'm certain of it.
So the corruption of modus ponens is the affirming the consequent formological fallacy, and the corruption of modus tollens is denying the antecedent. So remember, they're formal logical fallacies. When they say formal, that means format. So their format, it's by, construction. The if P then Q, P therefore Q, that's a format. That's what makes it a formal logical fallacy rather than, begging the question, which is an informal logical fallacy. It's not that neither one is more important, or a formal logical fallacy wears a tie, right? No, one's more important than the other. If it's fallacious, it's fallacious. If it's fallacious, the argument's void. Thanks.
Covered this on it'll be yesterday's show for you watching in 1980s channel premiering stream, but for those of you watching live earlier, Exactly. Your argument is void if you've used fallacy. So somebody quoted JLB who said, one man's fallacy is another man's truth. Well, no. A fallacious argument is void. End of statement.
I think we have to do another
Yeah.
logical fallacy show. I think I'm thinking the next Ballbusters Live. You know what's happening on the next Ballbusters Live. Let me. Can you take a guess?
Fallacies, as you've just told us that 20
Flat
seconds
Earth
ago.
proof.
No, flat Earth proofs.
Is that necessary?
Guess what's going to be the poster child?
Is that really necessary? Isn't it obvious
Yeah,
and
it's gonna-
observable?
He's got a brand new edition, of course.
Oh, that's true. I see what you mean. Yeah, you've got this is a flat Earth proof. Yes, quite right on. Absolutely appropriate. Now I've thought about it. Yeah, damn right. This should be added to the list. It should be updated.
It's to the list, all right. It's all the way up at number 1 right now.
If the Earth is a
I
sphere,
really don't have to go any further. We will with Flight, the Solar, Sea Sparrow Block 1, Coriolis, which has been rebirthed, and Vacuum of Space. But I really don't have to go past the first one. But we will. We're going to go slower than molasses in the wintertime. Then we'll do logical
Just want to
fallacies.
shout out
couple weeks
Unitox
after that. Thank you.
Femu. Sorry, Unitox Femu. Thank you very much for the super chat. If Earth is sphere, then it's a sphere by logic. Trying to do modus ponens. How do you say it? Modus ponens? Is that right?
Modus
ponens. If P, then
Ponens.
Q. P, therefore Q.
Yeah, that's what he's trying to do. I think.
The argument could follow the format and still be invalid, by the way.
I like it, QE, because every one of these ball tarts goes to this calculator.
Well, let's stick
And
to
you
this
put
just so these fallacies as it got asked, I want them concisely rounded out. So if P then Q, P therefore Q. If I eat 10 pizzas, I am full. I've eaten 10 pizzas, guess what? I'm full. So that's perfectly sound logic.
Exactly.
However, when you reverse modus, I can never say this. I say ponens.
Ponen.
No, it's modus ponens. Ponens.
Ponens. When it's modus ponens, it's perfectly sound logic. However, when you affirm the consequent, you then reverse the P and Q. So I'll use the same example. If I eat a massive pizza, then I am full. If P, massive pizza, full, Q. I am full, Q. Therefore, I just ate a pizza? Well, no, I've just eaten 10 hamburgers. Definitely not a pizza. So it's an affirming the consequent. This gets translated into most, if not, I'm going to put my hand out there and say all globe proofs. So an example, if the Earth is a sphere, now this would be segued in, sorry to pepper it with the word hemisphere, but assuming that they're using that word to make this statement. If the Earth is a sphere, denoted by hemisphere, then I will observe star rotation in the north and south hemisphere. Yep, so you've got, if the Earth's a sphere, P, star rotation, Q. Then you affirm the consequent, star rotation, Q, therefore Earth a sphere? No, affirming the consequent. So denying the antecedent, however, I'm not so good with in terms of the actual detailing of the logical fallacy, because it doesn't often get used other than in things like evolution arguments. Darwin came up against one. If they're buried together, then they existed together. Not buried together, therefore didn't exist together. Do you remember this argument you had, Darwin? I believe it was on, I can't even remember where it was. It might have been on your own channel.
No, it wasn't. It was against
Sorry, I'm
Knucklehead
distracted.
over on
My
Jose's
chat.
channel.
So
So
that
it's the
was,
same corruption. They just flipped the Q and the P.
yep,
For
wanna break-
modus tollens, it's P, if P, then Q. Not Q, therefore not P. The denying the antecedent, the corruption is this if P, then Q. Not P, therefore not Q.
Yeah, when I said it incorrectly, I'd essentially detailed and denying the antecedent by reversing them. I didn't want to say that at the time. I just quickly and swiftly corrected myself. It is confusing, but yeah, denying the antecedent exactly is the corruption of exactly that.
Well, whatever you did, you put into my mind P for pizza, Q for queso. So pizza and cheese. I'm going to go do this test.
Test. It's not a test. It's a logical fallacy or a perfectly
No,
piece of
it's
sound
when
logic.
it's food, it's a test. I have to have 10 hamburgers and 10 slices of pizza. I'll get back with the findings.
Fair enough.
Oh,
Ramscorp.
and beer. And don't forget
Did you
the
want to
beer.
add something, Ramscorp? Flashing away.
Oh, sorry about that. I had a hot mic.
No, it's okay. Yeah, we will definitely have to cover it again. I think it's an excellent and worthy addition to Ballbusters. If we do flat Earth proofs and then logical fallacies, that'd be a solid Ballbusters show, I would say. Next week.
No, that's more than one show.
Think so?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Now, it's not that we're not going to go over modus tollens. Obviously, we're going to, because that's part of the proof. Remember a long time ago when I said my proofs were not scientific evidences? They were logical consistency arguments? Yeah, that's coming home to roost.
Yeah, the problem is, again, it's the assumption that because they have hijacked science to use the magic of that vernacular when making up stories about their religion, somehow we now have to provide that standard that they've been claiming but not having. No. The only reason they're asked for their scientific validity is because it's absolutely asserted as being science. So all we're going is, oh right, you say you've got science, let's have it then. Oh, what a shock, you haven't. What's that you say? I've got to give it to you now. I'd never claimed I had any science in this regard. Earth is obviously and observably flat. No explanation needed for these long-distance observations. It's just an observation. I've got a set of eyeballs and I look and I see. No explanation is required. None.
Yep, 2015. Flat tards. Science proves the globe. Right. 2019. Science doesn't prove anything. Sorry.
And we don't need science to prove the obvious and observable nature of our reality. It's obvious and observable and requires no explanation, let alone needing scientific validity for a causal relationship that's merely asserted when you've got a religious belief about a sphere Earth that should be blocking something we're seeing. No, we just see it. And no explanation's required when you see an oil rig, or a clock, or a building, or an entire bloody island. Well, it's just an island, clock, or oil rig. That's it. I see it. It's there. That's the end of explanation. Because Earth's obviously and observably flat. That's why there's no explanation required. Just say clock. However, if you're a fundy zealot, then it's not a clock. It's a bloody hologram. It's a mirage. It's loomed up from beyond the edge that we have reified by fundies. Yeah, your edge, this physical obstruction that apparently the boat's going behind. Yeah, they're asking us for our edge all the bloody time. It gets sick. I get sick of it. Well, they've got an edge. That's why the overt attack on us to give them one. Same with science.
Don't forget chocolate.
Have you guys-
2020 Earth curve calculator proves flat Earth.
The fact that airplanes never fly with their noses below level. I mean, what more would you need to know?
Yeah, that's a squarely argument. We covered this.
Well, have you guys?
Hold on, let me just address that. The nose down thing is irrelevant. It's the scrubbing off of the altitude. When you're looking out at distance, like this picture of the north end of the Isle of Man, there's an alleged drop that should be there. Now, the fact they claim that what we see in the north end of the Isle of Man now, just off screen, is actually a slightly looming non-standard refraction hyena holographic projection of the north end of the Isle of Man from behind the reified edge of an Earth curve based on a begging the question, proof of nothing, perspective hijacking curve calculator, doesn't alter the fact that we just see it and it's there. When you talk about the drop that isn't there, that's the very same drop that an aeroplane's got to scrub off. Nose down is irrelevant. So long as they descend, nose up or nose down for whatever reason or mechanics that gets them to do that. The fact is they don't scrub off any altitude. So I got checked on it, and I'm just going to check you on it the same as I was checked on it. The nose down bit doesn't matter. Do they drop? Do they descend? Because according to the photographs we present, there's drop there. Oh yeah, that's gone behind the Earth curve. It's lower than you based on Earth curvature. A drop. Well, that's what the plane's got to experience. Not necessarily nosing down. Do you follow me?
Yeah, I know that. It's like they can drop their power to drop altitude as well, which they don't do. Their altimeter keeps them at the same air pressure as they fly. Yeah, I understand that. If you're flying, though, from London to Perth, then there is no other way but to have to nose down eventually. If you think about it like that.
Scrub off the drop that you've experienced. Between here and there, if we're on a sphere, then there's a drop between us and it. Well, you've got to scrub that off at some stage, and the planes don't scrub any drop off. They're remaining at the same level because it's level, because it's flat. Again, this isn't requiring scientific validation. That's just what they do. It's obvious and observable.
Have you guys ever seen the heads-up display photos that Zanuck posts, where it shows the heads-up display horizon line above the actual horizon, and then you can actually see the moon below the horizon line of the heads-up display? How do we deal with that one?
We don't deal with anything with Zanuck, right? Nothing. We don't deal with nonsense or images. Sorry.
But what is the explanation for
Have him explain it. It's his proof. Why are you trying to explain his proof?
Exactly.
I'm just trying to understand why the image shows what it shows.
Have him explain it and then scientifically validate it, because we don't really care about explanations. We can get explanations from your average village idiot down on the corner, right? So we don't really care about explanations without scientific validation. Thanks.
Do you understand the point he's making? I just don't want that to drift over your head like it's just been a berating for no reason.
Yeah, I do understand.
Well, for the audience's benefit then, before I do, Unitox Femu, thank you very much for the super chat. Give me NASA budget, I will show you the shape in a month. Right on. The person that's making the assertion that then basically reverses the burden of proof. So they say, here's a picture of a heads-up display. Here's my line drawn on the heads-up display of a position called the not actual horizon or the apparent horizon. And here's the actual horizon. Well, no, it's not. In the distance. How do you explain this? And you go, I don't. I'm not making any claims with this. You are. What's your explanation for it? And I'll rip your explanation about what you're showing with your claim to shreds. So don't fall into the trap when they reverse the burden of proof and say, what's your explanation for this? You don't even have to say, I don't know, because it's not your claim.
Well, Zanuck's explanation is that it shows the horizon dropping as a result of altitude.
I see. Now I can shit all over that. So Zanuck has reified the horizon into a physical thing that can drop, when in fact it's a not actual location. So this is their reified edge. Well, we don't have an edge. What's an edge? Oh, it's what the fundamentalist sphere believers reified the horizon into and say it's a physical location that can drop and be measured and all sorts of other bullshit. No, it's not. It's just a not actual location, an apparent position, useless for measuring things, but he's reifying that not actual location into the physical edge of his religious belief in a sphere. Hope that helps.
Ramscorp.
Well, yeah.
The picture he's showing, are they in the nighttime or something?
have you got access to Discord at all? Because
I don't know. I just want to know, was it in the nighttime, the pictures he's shown? I've seen pictures like that before, so you don't have to go to that bother of sharing them.
yeah, it shows the heads-up display horizon line, and then it shows the moon actually below that horizon line, and then what appears to be the actual horizon is even lower than that.
Just
The
one more time.
actual
No,
horizon line,
Just
really.
one more time. So the horizon is only being described as an actual location by religious zealots who have reified a not actual location into their physical edge of their religious reification of a sphere model. So they say it's an actual location, the actual horizon. There is no such beast. It's a not actual location.
Brian, I put that HUD display in Master P.
Thanks, Chocolate. I'll go have a look at it. Thank you.
Good, yeah.
I just
Because
want to
I'm
expand on
just
it.
trying to
once more.
understand that the horizon line of the heads-up display, either it's wrong. Is it wrong? I mean, that's what I'm trying to understand, because there's you can see the moon below the horizon line of the heads-up display.
No
and
worries.
if the heads-up display
let me
is
just try
getting
this
that,
with you. I'll just
creating
try
that
this.
horizon line
I understand what you're asking.
accurately,
So if it's foggy,
yeah.
does your horizon, what happens to the horizon when visibility gets worse?
It becomes more difficult to make out.
No, but you've still got a position where you can see into the distance where the sky, which you can still see in fog, and the ground will apparently meet. It's just much closer and lower down.
Right.
Did you get it?
Hold on. Right. So in poor conditions, low horizon, seems like you can't see very far out. So the distance along the deck that you can see is short, low horizon. Now on a crystal clear day, and it seems like you can see for miles and miles and miles, where's the horizon then? Still low? Or is it high? It's high. You can see further. The deck extends out to a greater extent, pushing the horizon back, i.e. up. But this is not a physical place. It's an arbitrary description of where the sky above you appears to meet the ground below you. But that never happens. The point being that in his description, he's saying that this mark on a heads-up horizon display is somehow affected by the not actual position where the sky appears to meet the ground. It's meaningless. But in his worldview, it has meaning because it's a physical place, a physical horizon, the edge of a ball. Now, if you look over a massive ball, it has an edge that you can see over. Beyond that edge, you can't see the other side of the ball. This side you can. That's the physical edge on a sphere. And in his mind, that's what he's looking at in the heads-up display. The edge of his sphere. But it isn't. It's a not actual location. An apparent position that can change with the weather. Or if you get higher. Or a multiple of other things that you can alter the not actual location, otherwise known as the horizon, with. For us normal people who appreciate that it's not a physical place, it's not an edge. But on a ball, you've got an edge. So they've turned that not actual place into an edge and then said, look, my reified actual positions dropped. No, not actual locations don't physically drop. and them not physically dropping in not actual position proves nothing. Hope that helps.
I think what Nathan was saying is that if the horizon was a real place, then it wouldn't move. Is that right, Nathan?
It's not that it wouldn't move, it's just as you raise or lower on looking over a ball, you can see more over the physical edge of the ball as you raise in altitude. Now, in reality, the horizon, the thing they say is the edge of their sphere, isn't an actual obstruction. It's a not actual location where things that are too small could potentially vanish. Call that the vanishing point. Or the not actual location where the sky appears to meet the ground. It doesn't meet the ground. That never happens. These are all descriptions of not physical, not actual locations. So when a not physical, not actual location drops in a heads-up display, who gives a crap? It proves precisely nothing.
Ramscorp, this kind of a thing that Zanuck is showing with the heads-up display, people like Wolfie were throwing that out there a couple of years ago as well. It's always the same, exact same image they put out. It's normally taken at night time or when there's a lot of heavy weather, where the apparent horizon seems to be very low and close. You know, it's always the same and nonsense. I mean, if you ask them for a series of HUD displays from the days and nights over the whole course of a month, you know, you get all different pictures.
I feel like we're going in a big circle. We started off with the Earth curve calculator at the 1.22 miles maximum distance for horizon at 1 foot level. Now, just think this out. If you stand at a 6 foot level, can you see further? If you go to a 10 foot level, can you see further? If you go to a 100 foot level, can you see further? Okay, fine. Here's the point. When we test it at 1 foot at 1.22, it's wrong. It doesn't work. The horizon's past that. The whole thing is off. You kill it right there with the small measurement. You kill it up there from the airplane measurements. It doesn't matter.
I understand the apparent nature of the horizon, but I mean, Zanuck will respond by saying, "Why is the
Who cares
moon
about Zanuck?
below the heads-up display horizon line?"
At some point,
Here's the thing.
when someone is not listening to 1.22 at 1 foot, and they're not going to listen to a good argument that's validated by their own Earth curve calculator, it's time to let that guy go. The guy is nuts.
But let's just try him. So, given what we've explained on this show, first you establish what they're claiming. So, when this happened last time, you said, "Oh, well, Zanuck's claiming that." If you can give us that information now, I can then crap on it again, based on what's being claimed, as opposed to your explanation for it, which you haven't challenged us to give you in this instance. I'm just saying there's no burden of proof reversal at this stage, unless you do that now, hopefully not. But if you can tell us what that's claimed to prove when the not actual location of the moon moves towards the not actual location of the horizon, we'll see what that proves based on what Zanuck's told you, and then we'll go from there.
Yeah, but it doesn't even have to get to that point, because we already know it's a well-known fact, and it's demonstrated every day, or every moment of every day, that planes just do not navigate vertical drop over distance. So beg away, I suppose, right?
Yeah, you're right. That was Brian's first point, but using nose down terminology. But yeah, that's true also. But still, Ramscorp, if you want to detail what is claimed to be proven by the moon being below the heads-up display horizon versus the not actual horizon, you want to tell us what that's claimed to prove? If you know, you might not.
Well, it's claiming to prove that the horizon is the apparent horizon is dropping with altitude.
Right, how can a not actual location drop?
Again, let's all
Hold on,
remember we're
Chocolate.
talking
Hold on.
about Xanic.
Hold on, Chocolate. Let's see how he laughed. So, do you appreciate the problem we've got here straight away?
Yes.
And do you
It's
appreciate?
just the moon. It's just the moon appearing between the apparent horizon and the heads-up display horizon line.
Yeah.
That apparent horizon that you're saying, that's redundant because the horizon is apparent.
But moving on from that, that's also correct, absolutely. But the reason the example's being made is by way of forcing your hand to accept this not actual location as an actual sphere edge, which it is in his example. I will shout it out in a minute, the goddess. Or the god series, sorry.
I understand what you're saying. Yeah.
Perfect. Shout out to the God series for the super chat. Watching the show at 7:53 a.m. from America. I really appreciate your enthusiasm. You're obviously on the West Coast.
Yeah, we were right there with me.
Yeah, we need to talk about a time change.
Nah, this schedule's now set in stone. Oh, by the way, I've just recently changed the schedule.
I actually like it because it's early and I can listen and participate if possible, and then still be able to do my day.
Well, it's almost 2 a.m. here in Australia, so.
This is the only compromise between the Australians and the Americans. So obviously both are going to moan if they wanted to, but both
No,
could.
I think it's outstanding.
Both could take part. That's why I picked this time.
I'm in California, and I start the show at 6 a.m. with you. Actually, 5:30 normally.
Just
Some of us don't wake the chickens up. Okay.
So just as a disclaimer, 10th Man is a farmer.
Well, first of all, I called my chickens, so they no longer exist.
I'm quite jealous, actually. My folks used to live on a farm, and it was idyllic. Nothing, no neighbours, no horrible screeching horns, no street lamps. You wake up because the sun's coming through your curtains and the air smells beautiful, and you naturally wake up when the sun comes up. That said, you're getting up at 5:30 when it's pitch black at the moment because you're a farmer and you've got to.
Actually, I have my alarm on my phone set at 5. I make my coffee. I get my dog. I do all kinds of start the fire for the family, and then I get ready for the show. So I'm at 5.
Yeah, that was my dad's life as well. Get the logs in from the woodshed, get the chickens sorted.
Yeah, someone came to the farm and said, "Hey, do you have any animals?" I go, "Yeah, they're all in 2 freezers. Good for another 3 years."
Excellent.
My pop's just retired. He does road construction, and he said that he slept in, and to him, sleeping in is like sleeping until 5 a.m. He actually leaves at 3:30 every morning. Brutal.
Yeah, that's right.
You got to get up early in the day to be on Flat Earth Debate if you're in the States, or you got to be a dedicated night owl if you're in Australia.
And we love doing it.
I
It's
gotta
worth
say,
it.
the Australians have it worse, especially when the shows go really long.
I think so, because you can just, if you're in the States, you just watch the after show, right, at about 5 p.m. Well, depending on where you are.
Yeah, normally 2 p.m. in the West Coast.
I'm like Nathan. I find myself watching the premiere later on in the day.
Hey, question for you. Have you guys been able to get together and make the video with all the housekeeping questions concisely summarized in a short period of time?
No, but you could watch Tim Osman argue against them yesterday. Was it yesterday? Or was it the day before?
Yeah.
We do need
Next
to.
question. Next
I'm
question.
segueing
Next
away.
question.
Yeah, we haven't. 10th Man was the original person to suggest that, and I did actually forget about it this instance. Previously, I've been like, no, I've definitely got that in the forefront of my mind. Now I have again. We will definitely get around to arranging that. How Weasley was that? We will definitely get around to arranging it. Well, there's a solid
Well, yeah.
yeah. There's a date for you.
Like, I
have
plan
all
on
of-
planning it.
You have all of
I
2020.
just figured I put a
ahead
bug
of
in
you.
your ear.
It sounded Weasley as soon as I started saying it.
Nathan Thompson wants to know
I
if you
put- I
can
put
get
a-
on the show somehow.
Can you get the link to him? Why isn't he on Skype? I know he's been banned. He's told me before.
Well, you can go on Discord, right?
I could try to pass him a link if you want.
Yeah, pass him the link. Might not get much of the live show with Nathan Thompson. He got talked about by Eric DeBay. So Eric DeBay had lunch with a vegan couple. I can't remember. I think they called them a very odd vegan couple or something like that. Anyway, he's chatting about flat Earth, slagged off the usual suspects. But Nathan Thompson got a mention in regards to his globe head. And then he brought up a picture, showed him. And he was painting us as the eccentric, or how did he phrase it? Something like, yeah, the kind of people you get on the stalls at the Flat Earth conferences, and then described Nathan Thompson as being basically a weirdo, and then showed him with a picture of a globe head. So you got a shout out from Eric DeBay, just so you know. It wasn't the most positive shout out, but nevertheless, you're getting mentioned by Eric DeBay.
I didn't know.
Is that like a crowning?
Oh, what? Sorry.
Is that a crowning? Like he's been knighted? Like if Eric DeBay talks shit about you, you must be doing something right.
You're nobody in this community till Eric DeBay's called you a shill.
Even though Eric DeBay laid it down in the beginning.
In the beginning,
What
was
are we?
DeBay.
Are we talking about Eric DeBay? Now, Eric DeBay, his work is fine, and he's a guy of great detail and great pride at what he puts out. So yeah, his work is ace. But as for personality going and the people that follow him and how he behaves socially, yeah, that's what Owen Benjamin started calling Savognier. And it is kind of invasive and annoying and unnecessarily defensive and all that. But yeah, his actual work, was great, and he was very early on. So
Getting moaned at by
He's an interesting fella.
some I can't read your name, it's too small, but Thunderbear, I can just about read the rest of it. You never actually answered the question about why the moon appears below the heads-up display horizon. All you did was I thought that would get a laugh.
That is funny.
All you did was state that the horizon is apparent.
How about yesterday? I forgot about yesterday's show. What were these bozos, Timmy Clown and the Rumpus, the second law of thermodynamics doesn't apply to the Earth? What were they exactly trying to say? Let me see if I can get it. If GPS works, then globe? Is that it?
Correct.
You got it.
Clowns.
Or to expand that,
$20,000.
to expand that slightly. So if I plot my positioning on a presupposed spherical surface, then I can assert that I've proved I'm on a spherical surface.
Well, it's even more corrupt than that, because this is so stupid. I can get an 8-digit grid of my position that's within 10 friggin' meters of where I'm at from 2 known points, a map that's a flat map, a compass, a protractor, and a pencil. So, I don't know. I can't even formulate this. What are you exactly? You don't have a point. There's nothing there.
Yeah, if
It
GPS,
has no cowbell.
If
Zero.
GPS, then global positioning. That's what they're saying.
I don't need. Yeah, but I don't need that. I just, like I said, I can get an 8-digit grid from 2 known points. That doesn't. This is so stupid.
Maybe it's even more simple than that. It's called global positioning. Therefore, it's global positioning.
Exactly. And with that, I'll say if you are watching this on the, let me get it straight, Nathan Oakley premiering stream, then stay tuned, as there will be an after show to follow. Unfortunately, if you're watching this live, no, that's the wrong way around. If you're watching this live on the Nathan Oakley stream, then unfortunately this is where I bid you farewell. A huge, massive, enormous thank you to both Discord and G Plus panels for making this show, this live show, possible. Stay tuned if you are watching on Nathan Oakley 1980 channel, as there will be an after show to follow. I've been Nathan Oakley, and I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!
Hours.
Steve Forrester said it's ground positioning system.
It's driving me nuts.
That's what I always call it.
Don't forget, those GPS units were $20,000. This was very important. $20,000.
He said the exact same thing about 6 months ago. Did you watch QE's stream yesterday?
I did not.
So he went on Ranties about 6 months ago and pulled apart the presentation that Tim Osmond had made on Ranty's channel and counted out about logical fallacy a minute. 90-minute presentation. Do the math. Anyway, besides that, his arguments were identical to the arguments he had on the show yesterday. I kid you not. And in the same order. So the debunking that came literally hours later from 6 months ago paralleled perfectly. Not only that, at the end of the presentation, because I was there for some reason, I don't know why, it was all QE's debunking and notation of the logical fallacies he'd committed. But there was also a shout out to Patricia Steer, who had literally just done an Expose All interview on a blog. So the timing, considering that she went live 2 days ago with her new channel, it just couldn't have matched up. If somebody had told me, oh yeah, Ranty had filmed that yesterday, I'd have believed them. Because literally the timelines were perfectly in sync.
You're welcome.
Yeah, did you know? Did you put that out unintentionally?
Did you bring up $20,000?
Of course I did.
Oh, I didn't know that. I just thought that was the one that you got scheduled. So you picked that out when, oh, this will be good timing. Excellent timing, QE. Perfect.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yep. Subscribe to Ranty Flat Earth today.
Shout out to Betty. Shout out to, hey, listen, I got to give credit where credit's due. Shout out to Betty. She made the choice.
Excellent. Timing was perfect.
Hey, can you guys hear me?
Hello. We hear you.
$20,000.
Hi, Nathan. Hi, QE. Hi, guys.
Good to have you. Is that Nathan?
What's up, Nathan?
Hey.
What's up, man?
Hey.
So,
I'm glad Patty's back. Her show was really good.
Did you come in on? You're on Discord.
Seems that way.
Yeah, I came in on Discord. I finally got on, dude. I can never get on your guys' show. I love your guys' show, dude. What you did yesterday with Tim Osmond was hilarious.
I sent you the hangout.
Very well done.
Nathan, somebody's over talking you, man. Hold on.
It's chocolate. You're saying you've had the link sent to you as well, Nathan, if you want to join on the hangout for any reason. But did you hear that you've got a shout out from Eric Dubay?
I got a shout out from Dubay.
You did?
No, the last time he shouted me out, he was calling me a Freemason. What did he say this time?
Well, he was making an example of how we're in the flat Earth community. There are a certain number of people who are, let's call them, eccentric, and he used the example of certain vendors at some of the conferences, and then you, and then he used a picture of you with a globe head.
Yeah, I know the globe head's hilarious, dude.
It's the videos. I think it's called Lunch with a Vegan, something like that. But he's basically being interviewed with a very odd vegan couple. Is the YouTube channel?
Interesting. Well, at least he's still talking about me. That's cool.
Hey Nathan Thompson, check your friend requests and a cum virus. What you're saying? Nathan Thompson ran away from you and team? We ain't even going to talk about Team Septic here because he's a knucklehead. I think he's even dumber than you are, which is a feat, by the way. Where's your pants at, dude?
I'll give him a break. We've had him over the barrel on this enough.
Yeah, we call him the blind sniper.
But is he? I thought you were about to say he's giving you shit in the comments. If he's not giving you shit, don't give him shit. He doesn't need it. He's not cool.
Yeah, he's messing with Nathan Thompson in the chat.
Oh, okay, fair enough. No, you did say that. Sorry, my confusion. As you were.
Well, Acum virus. You're in this hangout, right? So is Nathan Thompson. Go ahead and he's right here. You coward.
Oh yeah, don't call me a coward when it comes to Mr. Nathan Thompson.
Why?
'Cause he's more of a coward.
Why?
Wow. Could you elaborate? What do I need to elaborate on? He ran from me and Team Skeptic.
He's here.
Ran.
Hey, Nathan.
You made a claim of him being a coward.
He ran from me and Team Skeptic.
Everyone else.
I
Hi,
ran.
Nathan. How you doing?
How you doing, Nathan? You doing all right? Happy New Year's to everybody on the panel. First of all, I should have said that. Me
Happy
being
New Year
rude.
to you
Sorry.
too.
Happy New Year's, virus.
Very nice. I just want to get to the bit where Nathan and a cum virus are actually talking to each other rather than in third person by everyone else.
Yeah,
Nathan Thompson. Why you run from us, man? We just wanted an interview from you, dog. We wasn't even finna talk, no trash to you. You just ran from us, went to go grab some help, then decided to come back with some help, and you still ran after that.
Okay, so can you guys hear me?
Yeah, what's up?
All right, so I had a VIP dinner to attend. I was walking through the lobby, and then they demand an on-the-spot interview. I don't have any obligation. I don't have any obligation to talk to you clowns. I had a VIP dinner to go to. And then after that, they were doing the award ceremony. So you don't get to pick and choose 1 hour out of the entire weekend where you show up and demand I talk to you. And then I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to talk to you, and I'm busy.
So you went and went to go grab some security help? You went to grab security because you had a VIP dinner?
I was walking towards my
You went
VIP
and
dinner,
grabbed security for
Dude,
skinny old Team Skeptic.
You clowns don't know what happened, okay? If you'll let me tell you what happened, then you can know what happened, all right? So I'm walking towards the VIP dinner. Greg stops me and goes, hey, look, I have all this paperwork. I'm going to go confront the Globeheads in the lobby. And I said, well, that should be funny because I know Greg. Greg Wiska is hilarious. So I said, let me go follow. I'll just do a quick recording, see what happens. Then I'll get back to my VIP dinner because I had no obligation to talk to you Globehead clowns in the lobby. Is that clear?
Yeah, you acting like a straight bitch.
Right. So whatever, dude. You can claim I ran from you guys. I was busy at a VIP dinner. No, I didn't run from any of you knuckleheads.
It's on camera.
I was in all your knuckleheads' face. Yeah,
it's a YouTube video that shows it.
You don't have any camera of me running away, period.
Yeah, actually it is.
No, actually it's not. You got video of me walking away.
It's on YouTube. It's a video of it.
Yeah,
okay, listen. Yeah, listen. So, Acum virus, what was he running away from? Go ahead and challenge him with one of your arguments, clown.
What do you mean one of my arguments? He just ran from the interview, that's all.
They just wanted to talk to me because I'm Nathan Thompson.
All
they want to talk to Nathan Thompson, dude.
That's it.
And then when Nathan Thompson doesn't want to talk to them, Nathan ran from the interview that he had no obligation to talk to us about. You guys are idiots, dude. You fucking fools, dude.
Okay.
Absolutely.
What were you gonna?
Just right to hand.
Yeah. What were you gonna interview him about? What was the questions that you potentially were gonna ask? What did you want to know?
You're gonna have to ask Team Skeptic about that because all the thing I was there to do
was to hold the camera for him. Team Skeptic was gonna talk to him, and that was it. That was it.
So,
I don't know what questions Team Skeptic was gonna
Well,
ask.
bring
It
Team
Probably wasn't nothing
Septic.
serious.
Go get Team Septic in here then.
yeah, a week
Who's
prior
Team
to the
Septic?
conference, Team Septic was
Is
He's
he
probably
relevant?
not even available. You probably don't even want to come in here.
What do you mean? Is that his job like a slave? So, whatever.
Wait a minute, is Team Septic running away now?
Yeah,
Yeah, is
he's
he running?
running.
No, he just
He's
no.
running
Team
away.
Skeptic probably
He's
is
not
smart
here.
enough not to
He's
come
not
into the
here.
echo chamber.
He's running away. He's not here.
If it's an
He
echo
ran away,
chamber,
guys.
you wouldn't be here, virus.
You fucking.
Right?
No, it's an
Idiots?
echo chamber,
Are
and
you an
I'm
idiot?
here in the echo chamber. I
Are
know
you
I'm
some
here
type
in
of
the
an
echo
idiot?
chamber. I don't
You're
mind being here
literally
in the
here
echo
now
chamber.
talking. So how could it be a fucking echo chamber?
Hey, less than the swearing.
It's a fucking echo chamber.
Look, less the swearing. Literally, my wife's getting biscuits.
Yeah,
Sorry, wife, getting biscuits.
gentlemen, do not give in to the Savonier.
The Savonier.
So, Akamvirus, Chocolate challenged you with a very simple argument. How can this be an echo chamber if you're here?
Because it's an echo chamber, and I realized that I'm inside.
Because it's an echo chamber. That's your reason?
Can you hear your own voice echoing?
Then he
and
can
nobody
define
else?
echo chamber.
A panel of people who all agree with each other and feed into each other. Y'all don't
Do
have
you
no
agree with
opposition
us?
really on here.
Do
except
you
for
agree
slight
with
few
us,
people that come on
virus?
here. Y'all all back each other up,
Virus,
but won't let us back each other up.
virus.
That's what y'all do.
Do you agree
here.
with us?
You're here. So you can't
Let
say
him answer,
we
let
all
him
have
answer.
a panel of people
We
who
could
agree
be in
with
the
each
echo
other.
chamber.
He's not here. His pants are here.
But maybe he
Hey,
can't
hey.
hear us because he's
You just don't want me to learn.
Maybe he's just
You
hearing
just
his
don't
own
want me to
echo. He can't
learn.
hear us.
He's here, but you can think of it like he's not here.
But while that was fun, we don't know why he wanted to interview you. Sorry, Nathan.
Bummer.
Well, I'm glad
He once
we
he
flushed out that argument.
he once
with
had a
Team Septic.
oh god. He once had a claim that snipers they can shoot blind. So I'd like him to go over that for us.
Okay.
I think he ran out of here when I made that comment about you don't want me to learn.
No,
But he also,
I have
Oh,
no
okay.
reason to run. I have no reason to run.
wait a minute, he also had a claim he can be out of his pants and in his pants at the same time.
No, let's get it right. He could change
You
his
gotta be
pants
dumb as
without
hell in order
leaving
to
his
think that I've
pants.
said that.
Can someone find out why Team Septic's running from this panel?
Not running. He's not.
He's never been here.
He's never been here. So, but to be fair, I would like to, just for his own benefit, in terms of his assertion of his own belief, Akamvirus, with the whole leaving reference frame thing, do you appreciate why someone like Zanuck would assert that you never leave a certain reference frame? Do you know why that's argued in that way?
I mean, I understand. I understand both positions. I understand why you would think you can leave it, and I also understand why somebody would think you don't leave it.
Well, the reason that a fundamentalist religious zealot would assert that you don't leave a reference frame is because they automatically assume that Earth is spinning in all examples. He's gone. Wow. Oh, he's back.
Yeah, I mean, I can agree with that. I can understand that point of view.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, but the problem is though, when we had this discussion last time and we were talking about the merry-go-round, and you said if you were on the merry-go-round, you would have one reference frame, and then getting off that merry-go-round, you would have the same reference frame. Do you remember that?
You could be inside the same reference. Yeah, I'm one of the people that think that you can change reference frames, but don't have to leave a reference frame.
But you also
But I understand. But I also understand both points of views.
You also said at that same time, you said there was an infinite number of reference frames. Over.
Yeah, there could be an infinite amount of reference frames. Yeah.
So what you're saying, in essence, is that somebody that's on a merry-go-round would have the exact same reference frame as somebody that's not?
No, they would be in the same reference frame. One would be inertial, one would be non-inertial, but they could still be in each other's reference
So
frame.
that wouldn't be the same reference frame then?
No, it would. In his,
You're still in you're in the point of view of somebody who's in a non-inertial reference frame. You're still
Exactly.
in that point of view, even if you're in a inertial reference frame.
Just explain this.
So since you're
let me just round it out again. I'll round it out again. He will first. You start by making it extreme. You can have infinite numbers of reference frames. They only need one extra one. The one they're going to assume is spinning, Earth. So you step off a roundabout onto the surface below the roundabout that's not spinning, and you're still, according to them, begging the question that you're on spinning reference frame, because Earth's spinning in their examples. All of them have that third reference frame of Earth spinning, regardless of the example that's being made. So you start by saying, there can be infinite numbers. Well, you only need 2 to have a Coriolis deviation. Earth spinning being one of them. Oh, what's that? We don't see any deviation. Oh, well, that's a big problem if you're claiming you've got an Earth that's spinning. Oh no, much easier to just always assume Earth spinning. So you step off a roundabout, you're still spinning because I'm assuming Earth spinning. That's the argument.
Oh my God, you're kidding me. Acom virus, is that what you think? Where'd he go?
No, maybe he's back.
My bad. Push the wrong button. What was that? Ask again.
Do you appreciate that your argument, the reason for not leaving your pants, is because in a globe head argument, you're not leaving a spinning Earth reference frame ever. Therefore, all examples have the assumption that one reference frame is going to be Earth turning in all examples. So you can step off a roundabout and you're still on the spinning reference frame of Earth. That's essentially how your argument from your side is positioned. So much so that you would say you don't leave your pants to make the example that you don't leave a spinning Earth that you're assuming. That's the point of your side of this argument. I just wanted you to understand why you would assert that you don't leave a reference frame, because your example is an Earth reference frame that's always turning because you assume it.
No, I understand why I think you can't leave an reference frame, but that's not it. The reason I think so is just because you don't leave a person's point of view. It's just
Not
that simple.
not a person's point of view. This is where you're getting all screwed up. We're talking about you. You are on a carousel spinning. The ground outside the carousel is not spinning. No points of view here. You. When you're on the roundabout, you're spinning. When you step off the roundabout, are you still spinning?
Yeah, that's not what he was talking about. He was talking about why I think you can't leave a reference.
That's what
frame
I'm
or something
talking
like that.
about.
And that's what I'm
Listen
talking
to
about.
the
You're
words
adding
coming
stuff to
out
it
of
when
my
I'm not
mouth.
saying that.
Answer the question.
He will.
I already answered the question.
Let's see how well he does. I want to see how well he's understood the globe head argument. Go ahead, Acom
The
virus.
reason I think you can't leave a reference frame is because a reference frame to me ain't nothing but a point of view from a certain point. Unless
Point of
you
view
leave
from a
that
certain point.
you're still
like a
within that person.
clown.
You haven't left that reference frame.
Well, we're talking about movement
it.
reference frames, not optics.
Listen, hold on a second.
That's it.
Let me state it
You're
again.
completely
Let me state it
misinterpreting
again,
the
Acom
context.
virus. It's just like talking to a freaking incoherent third grader on freaking crack.
God, I wish you could say my name right.
Shut
God,
up.
damn. If you want me to shut up, then stop
You're
asking me
on
questions.
listen to the. I'll tell you what. You retard. Listen to the question. Shut
I
your
already heard
pie
it.
hole.
I already heard it.
You're
Don't repeat
on
yourself.
a carousel.
Stop repeating
You are
yourself.
spinning. Oh my God. I'm going to put you on mute.
He's unworthy.
Retard.
Brother. He's unworthy.
Retard. You are on a carousel.
Not
Yeah,
listening.
you better. I'll tell you what.
Not listening. anymore.
Let's.
Stop repeating yourself, man.
Start again, QE. Whoever's clicking, can you stop, please, in Discord?
I just want to say I'm glad the guy who said I ran from him is the same guy getting ripped apart by QE right now. What a clown.
So
He can't answer a simple question. He can't do it. All these globetards, they can't
accept a
answer
simple answer.
second grade questions. I'm going to say it again. I'll say it calmly. Akamvirus, you're on a spinning carousel. The ground outside the carousel is not spinning, it's stationary. You are on the carousel, just you. You step off the carousel or on the ground. Are you still spinning?
No.
Thank you.
Well, then you don't understand how the argument's been formulated by Zanuck then. So that's the correct answer. You're supposed to say yes, but somehow weasel
I'm not
it
supposed
with
to say
obfuscation.
yes.
I'm giving you
Oh,
help
sorry,
here.
my bad, my
I'm
bad,
helping
my
you.
bad.
I'm trying to help you. So the reason Zanuck would say yes to that answer with a lot of obfuscation and weasel, which is what you got that bit down, it seems, well, it's because he's going to assume that Earth is the spinning reference frame. So you step off the roundabout onto a spinning Earth. So we can say, yeah, he's still on a spinning reference frame. But he wouldn't say why, that then in obfuscation would assume. Then he'd juxtapose it with an example that's got an Earth that turns to justify his assumption that you're still on a non-inertial spinning reference frame when you step off a spinning reference frame that in this example is a carousel. So when you said, well, no, I'm not spinning anymore, as a globe head, a more competent debater like Zanuck would have said yes, and then weaseled and rumpused until he could juxtapose it with his example of a spinning ball Earth that he just assumed by saying yes when you said no. But no is correct. You're not spinning anymore when you step off a carousel, especially when the qualifier by QE was that the ground that you're going to be stepping on is stationary.
So that means you have two reference frames, correct?
Insert doublespeak now.
Let's see how he gets on. I'm training him. I'm making him a better globe head.
That's literally
I have a
what
follow-on.
we're doing.
I have a follow-on question to that question. I'm going to state it calmly. When you step off that carousel, that spinning reference frame onto. Oh my god!
Wait. A cum virus. So you appreciate that there is in that example carousel stationary ground, two reference frames. You didn't acknowledge the question QE asked, so I'm repeating it on his behalf.
Oh, that was a question towards me? What was the question?
It's an acknowledgement statement. Do you acknowledge that the example given has two reference frames, carousel and stationary ground?
Yeah, two reference frames. Yeah.
You continue with your very calm question, QE. Thanks.
No, that was my very calm question. Thank you very much. That is our whole point. There are two separate reference frames. I just wanted him to identify them.
I have a follow-up question for him.
Go ahead.
Hey, Globehead on the panel. Does all the air above the Ferris wheel move with the Ferris wheel or not?
Talking to me?
Yeah,
You
the question
would be the Globehead on the panel, yes.
asking, does
Well,
the
say
air
a
move?
Kumu virus, so that way I know you're talking to me.
A cum
You at least
virus
say
is
I
asking
know a
if the
virus
air
or
moves with
anything.
the carousel. Does the air move with the carousel or not?
I wouldn't think it would move with the carousel.
So the
It
air
move with the
above
Earth,
the
but not the
carousel.
carousel.
So the air above the carousel would move separately from the spinning carousel, correct?
Yeah, because the air is moving with the Earth, not the carousel.
Wait, I'm not talking about the Earth. Why did you guys hear that? Did you guys
Hold on,
hear that?
Nathan. No, the point to drop that in, you missed, and I corrected you, trying to train you into being a better debater for your side of Globe. When you were asked if you stepped off the carousel, when QA asked you, you said no. And I said, no, as a Globehead, you have to say yes. Because now you've got the Weasley bit where you just change your position to no, a spinning ball Earth always applies. Of course, you're going to beg the question. But you answered no. When stepping off the roundabout, yeah, are you still spinning? Answer no. So why are you now assuming the Earth is spinning when you answered no earlier? You see, that was where you needed to say yes. Of course, in saying yes, it's doublespeak and laughable, but that's what you've got to do if you're a fundy. That's the line that zealots like Zanuck are towing, but you're not getting the line he's towing. Or the doublespeak when he says yes.
I'm not a fundy, so I'm not going to answer the way you want a fundy to answer.
You have. You just said, you've just assumed Earth spins. That's why I'm checking you. You have behaved like a bloody fundy. You just inserted your presupposition that Earth was turning and the atmosphere was turning with it on your turning Earth. You're telling me you're not a fundy? You can't keep up with your own bloody rhetoric. I'm correcting you, as a flat earther, on your shitty debating tactic because you don't know how to beg the question. You don't know how to do it.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't debate.
Yeah, Zanuck's better. That's why you got humiliated with your pants not being left behind. Because you didn't understand that you needed to say yes as a globe head when asked if you step off a roundabout, are you still spinning? Yeah, because later, like you've now done, you are going to beg the question that Earth's spinning. Now, you've done the begging the question, but when asked if you were still spinning after stepping off the carousel, you said no. So you're not getting it. You don't know your own rhetoric well enough. That's my problem here. That's why the pants thing happened.
What pants thing?
You thought you didn't leave a reference frame behind. Well, the reason you were of that understanding was because you didn't understand how Zanuck was begging the question. He's saying, no, you never leave.
I don't care about him begging the question. I don't care about fallacies, for fallacies doesn't mean something is false.
Yeah, it does.
I don't care about
that.
Oh my God.
It doesn't. Don't you understand what a fallacy is?
Yeah, I explained it on the yesterday's show.
Believing that a fallacy makes a statement false is a fallacy.
No, you have to therefore prove your statement as true. So if you've only
that
got
means
your...
that all I have to do is reword or
Yeah, you're talking to someone who understands fallacy.
Make sure it's not a fallacy.
Yeah, fallacy. I heard. You're talking to somebody who understands fallacy.
Fallacy doesn't mean false.
You're just going to keep...
Stop rumpus in the hangar!
Yeah, he's just going to keep talking.
Then
His limited understanding of fallacy means he's going to talk non-stop to somebody who understands fallacy and is about to correct him. Your fallacy, in order for the assertion to be declared as true, you'd have to actually demonstrate it to be true. Now, if your only argument is a fallacious one, then your assertion, by way of a fallacious argument, is void. Now, if, on the other hand, you can demonstrate what you've claimed with a fallacy as being true by another means, then yeah, you could claim the fallacy, but you'd actually have to prove your point. The point here is you only have fallacy to make your point, making your arguments void, very much incorrect.
Then he just has to reword his fallacy, Nathan. Then it's going to be good. I give him a D- in double
The
speak.
next fallacy.
Exactly, it's D- in doublespeak. You needed to understand where to answer yes and get a laugh, but there's a reason behind us laughing at Zanuck when he says, yeah, you step off a roundabout, you're still spinning, everyone laughs. But so when you later begged the question, Ukumbaris, and said, yeah, because Earth and atmosphere is different to the roundabout, when I'm asked if the atmosphere is moving with the roundabout, no, it isn't, but Earth's turning, and that's different. Well, Earth turning being your assumption had to be declared when you were asked, when stepping off a carousel, if you're still turning. You said no. Well, why are you now saying, yeah, Earth's turning? You didn't understand the rhetoric or argument, but you're using the argument, and saying you can't leave reference frames was your misapprehension of how the fundies argue this point. So you ended up saying you don't leave pants, and us having a laugh about you not understanding why Zanuck would say, yeah, I'm still spinning after stepping off a carousel, because he's automatically begging the question of a spinning Earth. When you just ham-handedly slap it in the argument after saying you're not spinning after stepping off a roundabout, you seem silly because you don't understand how they're arguing this point. I'm trying to help you.
He's a dull crayon.
Know how to
I
beg
can
the
see
question.
I can see why Nathan Thompson ran from you.
I wasn't the one asking the questions. So he
Dude,
wasn't
these
really
guys
running
are
from
like
me. He was running from Team
literally modern day zombies. If you have an ounce of critical thinking skills, they will try to eat your brains while wearing some designer level 10 Ray-Ban globe goggles, and the double speak is D- at best. So
Exactly.
well done, Nathan.
They're like zombies, right? We're toying with a Kumvaris here, and it's mean, but he's basically a zombie.
No, it's not. I actually find it very funny. I'm enjoying this, so
All right.
it's not me.
You're enjoying us educating you on how to actually argue the globe.
No, y'all fail to understand that I'm playing with y'all, and I actually
Yeah, you're
enjoy
playing
this.
with me. Yeah. So anyway, what's happening is you're a zombie coming towards me with a spoon and groaning, trying to eat my brains, and I'm going, man, I've got this Tommy gun. This is not even a sport anymore. So I've gone up to you and I've gone, here, zombie. Here's a slightly sharp blade instead of the spoon you're coming at me with. Yeah, that's what we're doing, and you think you're toying with us. No, we're trying to educate you on how to argue globe because you're no competition. You're laughable.
I'm not trying to be competition.
As a matter of fact, last time you were here, you were claiming
I'm only here for one thing, and it's
getting
to have
destroyed.
fun and
You were claiming that you were here to learn,
learning and having fun. That's it.
He's the fully brain dead zombie behind the zombie with a spoon, holding that zombie's pocket.
Hey, just because you enjoy being a zombie doesn't mean you're not a zombie. I have a follow-up question for you because I was asking about the roundabout and the air above it, and you jumped to the earth and started talking about your religious belief about what earth does. Why would the earth move separately from the...
I didn't say nothing but the earth did. I didn't say the earth did anything.
Now he's interrupting.
I didn't say the earth did anything.
Yeah, he did. I've just had to check you. I just had to check you on it. I said you ham-handedly.
I said what the air did,
You're just
not what the earth
obfuscating.
did.
You've got this bit down. Virus, we know you know how to talk over everyone. He was about to ask you a new question. He summarised what you did. I described it as you ham-handedly slapping in your religious belief. And now you're talking over me because you're being humiliated. You're a wanker. Stop talking over me, you prick. Don't laugh at me either, you fucking asshole.
At least do it right.
You're a fundy zealot, and your only tactic isn't to win an argument or be educated on how to argue your own point by me.
Yeah,
you slapped in your religious belief ham-handedly. And Nathan Thompson's correctly identified that you inserted your religious belief of an earth with atmosphere turning around it. You did that. Now you're talking over him, saying you didn't. You're a prick. Let him ask his question of you dumb fuck. Don't rumpus him.
If you want to be serious, he could have asked that question.
Shut up!
With me and,
shut your dumb fuck mouth.
No,
what part of shut up don't you understand, you dumb fuck? Are you deaf as well as dumb? Shut up! What, now you're making bloody blarting noises? You're like my 3-year-old. You're like my 3-year-old. I tell you to shut up and you go, nah. That's what your response is. You're literally retarded.
I think that was a zombie cry, Nathan.
Yeah, he correctly summarised your position, Virus, and you interrupted him telling him no. Something I'd explained earlier as you slapping in your religious belief. Correct. I'd like him to actually get to the point he asks you a question. This is just a string of obfuscation from you.
My bad. I'll go ahead, Thompson, ask your question.
All right, so you already said that the Earth moves separately from the the air moves separately from the Ferris wheel, above the Ferris wheel. It doesn't all move with the rotating Ferris wheel. But then you asserted that the air above Earth moves with the Earth. Is that correct?
Okay, I guess.
You guess, does the air above your spinning Earth religion move with the spinning Earth, or does it move separately, similar to the Ferris wheel?
My religion doesn't care about the shape of the earth.
It was a question in regards to the atmosphere. Is it moving with the spinning ball cartoon?
You mentioned my religion, so my religion does not care about the shape of the earth.
Okay, well,
your religion is the shape of the earth.
So
my religion does not care about the shape of the earth.
Can we get back to the question, please? Does the atmosphere above your cartoon tilted ball Earth move with the tilted cartoon ball Earth? Or does it move separately, similar to the Ferris wheel?
I don't know what cartoon balls do.
But why did you said earlier that the atmosphere moves with the Earth. It's the ham-handed religious belief you slapped in that was correctly summarised with your interruption earlier.
Look, my deism does not care about the shape of the Earth. My religion does not care about the shape of the Earth.
You've said that 4 times. You said it 4 times. Your religion is the shape of the Earth.
My religion does not care about the shape of the
Earth. It's the 5th time
you said we heard you.
We heard it 5 times. You stuck.
question
You
Yeah,
become
so
a
stop
parrot.
telling me that
Are you
my
now a stuck
religion has
record?
anything to do with the shape of the earth.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
question
We
is
heard you that
about the
6
atmosphere.
times. Have you become a stuck record that we need to eject because you can only say one sentence 6 times? Yeah. Your religion is.
I don't care what you do. I
Your
don't care
religion
what
is.
you do.
You just want to talk every time anybody checks you on anything. So your only tactic is
gone.
to obfuscate. Are you doing it right now? So you've got nothing.
Can you just
You're
answer the
gone.
I don't care
question?
what you do.
You're gone. Bye. Sorry, Nathan. Both
He
Nathan.
doesn't. He
Sorry,
doesn't
he's
want to
gone.
answer the
Hey,
question.
Nathan,
It's
I
all right.
think we may have had
Everyone, shut
Josh-
up. I just want Nathan Thompson to summarise the point he was trying to get the guy to. He's obviously trying to lead him, painfully though it was. At least let him make his point now.
Of course. So he says that the air above the spinning Ferris wheel moves separately, but then these religious globetards say that the spinning ball Earth has an atmosphere that moves with the spinning ball Earth, which is not how fluid dynamics work. And if the Earth moves separately from the atmosphere, how the Ferris wheel works, we would see a Coriolis effect. There would be drastic differences in journey times east to west. Earth would move under smoke, insects, balls we throw in the air, hot air balloons, drones, helicopters, all the above. So thanks for letting me summarize, Nathan. I appreciate it.
Good summary. Go ahead, Arwin. Got you on screen.
I think his name should be Cum Virus.
You can see what's on screen, but the Discord server can't. So I described a zombie coming towards me with a spoon that I'm trying to offer a blade. So it's some sort of sport. So Arwin's dug out the zombie hordes going, "Arr!"
Yeah, and the guy Akuma Virus literally made that sound. I identified it.
I think a better analogy is he's coming at you with a beach ball, and you're like, here's a spoon, buddy. Because they really have nothing, not even a dull blade after we hand it to them.
That's going to be the perfect way to round out this after show. So with that, I'll say a huge, massive, enormous thank you to all of you who did tune in on the Nathan Oakley 1980 premiering stream, for hopefully smashing the super chat, joining with the new join button, liking, commenting, sharing, subscribing, and all that good stuff. Of course, a massive thank you to all of today's Discord and G Plus panels for making this after show possible. I've been Nathan Oakley. Be sure to check out nathanoakley.com and the Flat Earth Debate Forum to keep up to date with the community debate. I'll see you all in the next video.
Oh, what a day! What a lovely day!